everybody, and welcome to the very first Wednesday WOW session on the Jensery YouTube channel. For anyone that's tuning in for the first time, my name's Jen and I'm a special needs teacher and have been for 10 years. Few people have asked about my background as well. I did my degree in music and drama, and then I did my teaching qualification with an early years specialism. So that's kind of helped me with my 10 years doing music and drama and creative stuff for children with special needs, and it is the best job in the world. I wouldn't change anything about it. It's fab. So without further ado, we're going to go on with our Rainforest theme and our Wednesday WOW. Now, as you can probably see, this is almost becoming like a den building sort of activity, and I've started doing it. Now, I've asked you all to get an umbrella. Now, it doesn't matter if you haven't got a massive one, as I say, the bigger the better. So if you do have a golf kind of umbrella, that would work beautifully. But if you've just got a little one, don't worry, because essentially what we're doing is making a mobile of sorts out of it. So I've got some tactile ones, okay? I've got some really, really nice netting that I just found, I think, in a craft shop. I've got some streamers, I've got our trusty beads as well, again, that we use on Monday for the messy play activity. They are always a lovely tactile thing to add. We've got ribbon, and as I say, the more you can add to it, the better, really. And yeah, just keep adding, keep adding, keep adding. I've still got my ribbon from Monday, which is a lovely kind of curly stimuli to add to it. Similarly, I've got my twine for the same kind of reasons, and again, you're building up that consistency of stimuli there, which is a really nice way of doing it. Any fake plants are great. I've literally just attached an elastic band to it and then some ribbon to that, and that will suspend nicely and rotate as well, which is always good. Anything that creates movement creates inspiration and exploration as well. So that's a nice thing to do. We can attach that, and you can find things in weird places around your house, and these are just some, yeah, just little tiny photo frames really, and again, connected together with some elastic bands and make a really, really lovely sound. So we can attach those to it as well. Now, the great thing about elastic rather than using string or twine, as I say, if you haven't got elastic bands, don't panic, but the great thing about using them is that they retract and they go back to the position that they started in. Now, when you're working with children with disabilities, that's actually a really important skill for them to build up memory. So if they're playing with it and they dangle it as well, it stops and then it goes back to where they found it originally, and that's what you need. You want them to be able to remember how to grab onto things. So that's just a really handy tip for using elastic, which is why I put elastic bands down. We've got some sticks here as well. What might be a really nice activity to do with it is to collect some natural resources on your walk, some leaves, some sticks, some feathers, any of those kind of things, and attach those onto it as well. And then you've got your rainforest den, which is fantastic. What I would say is, if you're using this with non-ambulant children, so children that use supportive seating, what you probably want to do is get them out and lie them underneath it and just let them have a little explore. Now, you want to do that one-to-one time with them and show them where everything is, and just model a bit about, you know, here are the beads, here's this texture, here's that texture, and then just let them have a little play and a little explore and see what they like, see what they don't like. The one thing I will say about that is, essentially, this is a pop-up activity, and if you're careful about where you hang things, you can just pop it up and down quite easily without disrupting it. But what I would say is, if you put your child underneath it and they've got the beads on this side, the next time you go to use it, make sure the beads are in the same position, because it will give the child a sense of consistency and build up that memory. So that's just a really important tip, to use the umbrella. Okay, now what you can see that I have done now is I have added this material over the top of the umbrella to create our den. Now, what it's done is darkened the space a little bit, which is lovely. It's also created a lovely effect on the white umbrella, which I will show you in a little while. But the main reason for doing this is for our non-ambulant children, really, because it's essentially brought the whole space closer. Now, we have a sense called the proprioceptive sense, and that is all about the space immediately around us. Now, when you can move your body okay, you understand quite quickly where your limbs are and how far the immediate spaces around your body. But if that doesn't happen when you're little and you don't get those same experience that neurotypical children do, your understanding of your own body and the space that's immediately around you isn't as developed. So actually, if we can bring the world in closer, you understand more about things that are at the end of your arm and that you can reach for, or at the end of your leg, and that's a really lovely experience for children that might struggle with that. And it's also created a really nice awe and wonder sense that we've got going on here. Now what I will do is show you the effects of a white umbrella as well, because what happens with white umbrellas is that you can see through it. And I will just show you, I will just show you how that looks from underneath now as well. Okay, now as you can see, I've just made it a little bit darker in here. I hope you can still see me. Now on the list was a torch. That was another thing that I said would be really good. Now I've just got this little wind up one that I had, and this is just going to help to illuminate things in our den, and use it almost as a bit of a kind of what can we find in the rainforest activity. So you can literally just shine it into your den like that and focus in on particular things. That's quite a nice material that's illuminating really nicely. But you can just use it to create a little bit of focus as well. Now if you've got children that are role play ready, and that is quite a high level play skill to be able to do, so it's not something you can introduce too quickly, but if you have got children that actually are at that level and really like that, then you can crawl in and see what you can find in the rainforest. It might be quite a nice idea to print off maybe some little pictures of things that you find in the rainforest if you've got a printer at home, and attach those as well, and then you can go for a little rainforest hunt with your torch as well. You can even suspend the torch as another stimuli, so that when children who are non-ambulant can touch it, it'll just create a bit of light all around the den. So yeah, I hope you can see that a little bit. I can't really get much closer unfortunately, but yeah, it just again, it creates another little wow to our Wednesday. Now while we're talking about light, I'm going to do a bit of a shameless plug again. Ooh, there it is. Now I'm not endorsed by these people, I don't get any money for endorsing them, I'm just in love with these, and I really want to show you how they work. So basically this is an aurora light. I think they're usually about £15 to £20 and you can get them online really easily, and they're just fab. You can create all kinds of lovely dens and they just create an extra level of wow to what we're doing. So I'll just show you how they work. That's the first one, really pretty, and again just illuminates the whole den rather beautifully, but they've got different colours as well, so you can go through and create. There's a nice flashy one, bit of a disco vibe, and we're going to use our green one, because then we can just whack that inside and it's just going to create a really beautiful effect and make it a little bit more wow. So if you can, I'd highly recommend getting those, but as I say, a torch will work absolutely fine. The great thing about these as well is that they do have a jack input and a little speaker on the side, so if you want to connect your phone to it and put a rainforest sound effect on, which you can find plenty of on YouTube, then that will again add an extra level of wow to your little mini rainforest. There we have it, our little mini rainforest that you can go and have lots of fun exploring in. One last thing I will mention before I go, and it's a very important one. Be aware that obviously you've got lots of things hanging from this that can get caught around hands quite tightly, and you really don't want them round necks. So please stay with your child when they're accessing this activity, because we don't want any horrible accidents happening. But please have fun with it. It's a really great activity, and it's very inclusive for non-ambulant and ambulant children alike. So work with it and work with your child however they want to access it. And I look forward to seeing again some photos of all of the lovely things that you're going to do, I know, with this activity. So please subscribe if you haven't done already, like, comment and share the video, and I will see you on Friday for a very interactive session. Now, one thing I will say about the Friday session now is that that is designed to be watched live, so you can do that with your children and follow it along, rather than these sort of instructional videos that we have on a Monday and a Wednesday. So I look forward to seeing you then. Have a lovely few days, and we'll see you ready for our Rainforest sing along on Friday. Thanks very much. Bye.